Well, who didn't see this coming? PlayStation is apparently getting ready to stop making discs altogether. And from all the information that I've seen, they're probably going to get rid of the disc drive for the PlayStation 6. Big shocker there. And that means you ain't going to own jack. It's an entirely stupid choice, but it is one that we saw coming a mile away. But the reasons that they're citing are even worse than the fact that it is just a dumb decision. They're claiming that 85% of the games sold are digital only. Well, considering that like 90% of the games releasing right now are digital only titles anyways, that stat really doesn't tell you the truth, does it? When you actually look into the numbers, physical PlayStation games, at least for the big releases, are about a 50-50 split most of the time. Sometimes it leans 60-40 in either direction. And that is not a bad split. That is a ton of physical sales, which means they are going to lose a lot of customers if they actually go through with this crap. All of these companies seem to have completely forgotten that not everyone has the internet speeds or data caps to just download and play massive games. Take a look at Xbox. You can't even turn the thing on for the first time without connecting it online. You can't even watch a physical Blu-ray movie without downloading an update for it first. The whole ecosystem requires you to sign in, create an online account, and stay connected. What happens if somebody doesn't have internet and they buy that system? As we have all seen, the Xbox hardware sales went down the drain, and PlayStation sales are going to go down too if they follow suit. Even though I knew this was coming, it doesn't make it any better. It's been obvious since all the praise Steam has gotten over the years. They never received any real pushback for being nothing more than a DRM service that completely killed off the game disc on PC. Instead, they were constantly praised as saviors of the gaming market. Yet they are the ones that killed game ownership with their business model. It's pretty stupid for PlayStation to try and go the same way of Steam. Steam doesn't make nearly as much money as PlayStation does. And what makes this even funnier, a lot of people are claiming we'll just go play on PC now because we won't own our games on PlayStation anymore. Well, guess what? You ain't gonna own them on PC either unless you strictly buy from GOG. So good luck with that one. I don't know what we're gonna do at this point. The only real solution that I can think of at this point is legislation must be passed, guarantee we actually own our digital products once we buy them. And there has to be a fail-safe in place. These companies can't just force every single game into a subscription service as a loophole, because if they force companies to let people own the products, they might just retaliate by throwing everything into a subscription, which would suck even worse. I've also seen some clauses in the terms of service going around that Sony now has the right to kill your account if you're not active for 36 months, and you lose all your stuff. Now this is in the EU, and a lot of this is probably because the EU is always suing them, claiming it's a monopoly or that they can't hold on to someone's data for that long if the account isn't active. But the result is still the same. Your library is gone. That's complete crap. And they probably aren't the only ones doing it. Let me put this to you the best way that I can. I gave you money. You gave me a product. I now own that product as part of my personal collection. Oh, and speaking of owning your products, thanks to the EU and the UK, we now have this completely stupid situation where games are asking for your age after you already bought it. That does a whole lot of good, don't it? I bet you they get a lot of people claiming they're over 100 years old now playing their games. But the reason why they're doing a lot of this is because they don't want you to resell the product. They hate trade-ins. But the irony of it is, it's GameStop and Walmart that are the ones selling your consoles. What are those retailers going to do when there's no reason for them to put your product on the shelf anymore? Why would they even think about selling the console if they're not going to get anything extra out of the game sales? This is stupid. And from what I can tell, there is no real solution right now besides legislation. People will bring up piracy, but piracy is what led to Steam being established and locked down in the first place. It sucks. Even though I buy a lot of digital stuff, mostly because a lot of indie developers can only afford to release digitally, and I will always prefer physical. But now it looks like neither of these consoles are going to have a disc tray next generation. Microsoft has no real reason to keep theirs, and PlayStation is following right behind. Maybe it's time everybody starts writing their representatives. Tell them we need to pass legislation to force ownership of digital products, and close the loophole of just throwing everything into a subscription, so somebody can buy and own a product. Knew it was coming, just wish it wasn't the case. Anyways, thanks for watching. I'll talk to y'all later.